In the world of DevOps, pipelines are essential for automating the process of building, testing, and deploying applications. They ensure that code changes are consistently integrated and delivered, reducing the risk of errors and increasing efficiency. This presentation will delve into the design and implementation of build and release pipelines, focusing on best practices, tools, and techniques to streamline your DevOps workflow. A build pipeline automates the process of compiling source code into binary code, running tests, and producing artifacts that can be deployed. It typically includes stages such as source code retrieval, compilation, unit testing, and packaging. By automating these steps, build pipelines help ensure that code changes are validated early and often, catching issues before they reach production. Build pipelines consist of several key components: source control, build scripts, build agents, and artifact repositories. Source control systems like Git manage code versions. Build scripts define the steps to compile and test the code. Build agents are machines that execute the build scripts. Artifact repositories store the output of the build process, such as compiled binaries and packages, for later use in deployment. Release pipelines automate the process of deploying applications to various environments, such as development, staging, and production. They ensure that deployments are consistent and repeatable, reducing the risk of errors and downtime. Release pipelines typically include stages such as deployment, configuration, testing, and approval, ensuring that each release meets quality and compliance standards. Release pipelines consist of several key components: deployment scripts, deployment agents, environment configurations, and approval gates. Deployment scripts define the steps to deploy the application. Deployment agents are machines that execute the deployment scripts. Environment configurations specify the settings for each deployment environment. Approval gates ensure that releases are reviewed and approved before progressing to the next stage. Designing effective pipelines involves understanding the requirements of your application and workflow. Key considerations include the stages of the pipeline, the tools and technologies used, and the criteria for progressing between stages. Effective pipelines are modular, scalable, and maintainable, allowing for easy updates and modifications as your application and workflow evolve. Choosing the right tools for your pipelines is crucial for their success. Popular tools for build pipelines include Azure Pipelines, Jenkins, and GitLab CI. For release pipelines, tools like Octopus Deploy, Azure DevOps, and AWS Code Pipeline are commonly used. The choice of tools depends on factors such as your existing infrastructure, team expertise, and specific requirements of your application. Implementing build pipelines involves setting up source control, defining build scripts, configuring build agents, and setting up artifact repositories. Start by integrating your source control system with your build tool. Next, create build scripts that define the steps to compile and test your code. Configure build agents to execute the build scripts, and set up artifact repositories to store the output of the build process. Implementing release pipelines involves defining deployment scripts, configuring deployment agents, setting up environment configurations, and establishing approval gates. Start by creating deployment scripts that define the steps to deploy your application. Configure deployment agents to execute the deployment scripts. Set up environment configurations for each deployment environment, and establish approval gates to ensure that releases are reviewed and approved before progressing. To ensure the success of your pipelines, follow best practices such as automating as much as possible, using version control for all pipeline scripts, and implementing continuous integration and continuous delivery (CI/CD). Regularly review and update your pipelines to address any issues and incorporate new technologies and practices. Monitor pipeline performance and set up alerts for any failures or issues. Monitoring and maintaining pipelines is crucial for ensuring their ongoing success. Use monitoring tools to track the performance and health of your pipelines. Set up alerts for any failures or issues, and regularly review pipeline logs to identify and address any problems. Continuously improve your pipelines by incorporating feedback from your team and staying up to date with the latest DevOps practices and technologies. Let's look at a case study of a successful pipeline implementation. A software development company faced challenges with manual deployments and inconsistent build processes. By implementing automated build and release pipelines using Azure DevOps, they achieved faster and more reliable deployments. The pipelines included stages for code compilation, testing, and deployment, with approval gates to ensure quality and compliance. As a result, the company reduced deployment times, minimized errors, and improved overall efficiency. In conclusion, designing and implementing build and release pipelines is essential for modern DevOps practices. By automating the processes of building, testing, and deploying applications, pipelines help ensure consistency, reduce errors, and increase efficiency. As you move forward, focus on continuously improving your pipelines, staying up to date with the latest tools and practices, and incorporating feedback from your team. With effective pipelines in place, you'll be well equipped to deliver high-quality software quickly and reliably.